It seems more and more these days like the consensus has condensed around Session 0 being an integral part of starting a D&D campaign. In fact, there are quite a few D&D influencers who say that they would consider not having a Session 0 to be a red flag, a tautological phrase in that using it is itself a red flag. But that aside, and to the point, you do not need a Session 0 to have a successful game. It is not worth spending an entire session on. It's not worth spending a whole 4 hours deciding how our characters were all childhood friends and pre-planning our character arcs and discussing the quote-unquote tone of the campaign. Session 0 works against your campaign evolving naturally. This strange urge to pre-plan as much as possible to help prevent the game from failing because there is no camaraderie in the RPG community anymore. Only the urge to get what they want out of the game, and only what they want, and nothing else. Consumers, not players. The only games I've seen that had an actual Session 0 were horrible contrived shit that felt like a writer's focus group than an RPG. You can easily make good characters that fit the campaign without going, oh, and my character could be a member of a secret paladin ninja order. The way it should work is the DM creates the campaign and the players make characters to fit the fucking campaign. They make normal, sane characters built around the world the DM has created. None of this, LOL, well, let's decide what kind of tone and feel we want for this game, and sign a consent form and pass out the X cards, so if anyone feels triggered that this game isn't meeting their needs, just hold it up and we'll stop the game and rub some baby powder on your ravaged asshole. We don't need that. We don't need Session 0 at all. It is a creation of insufferable redditors with whiny voices and beards from the 2010 Occupy Wall Street era, the kind who look like Edward Snowden took estrogen supplements, and fat 40-something quote-unquote reformed gamer dads who think they can reform the culture of the tabletop hobby. But these people have been persistent, and they have warped D&D into something it isn't. That's not to say you can't do anything akin to a Session 0. That doesn't mean you can't meet your group and pre-plan something here and there, even if, generally, that can be easily done over email or other messaging. No, it is more the semi-formalization of the process and its insidious injection into the canon of procedures for running a role-playing game. That is the problem. These people want you to all go out to a bar and waste money on overpriced estrogen-laden IPA beer while talking about meaningless garbage and then planning out your characters like you are on Critical Role. That is stupid shit. We do not need that. Part of the fun of tabletop RPGs is watching disparate elements clash and interact organically, not to plan them out beforehand like the pre-scripted Critical Role that so many of these parasitic neophytes came into the hobby VE. Defenders of Session 0 will claim that this is not what it's about, or that people already naturally do Session 0, and if you email your players about the campaign and they reply, "That is a Session 0, no, it isn't, because it isn't a session, and it doesn't fit into the multiple aspects and parameters that have been used to describe a Session 0 for years." This is a standard SJW tactic to create an entity, then when you attempt to point out that entity, they claim it doesn't exist or expand its definition beyond meaning to encompass everything. This is obvious bullshit. It is obvious that Session 0 did not exist before the early 2010s, when Reddit Astro turfed it into existence, like they did with scenes, failing forward, and all sorts of other stupid shit. We don't need it, we don't want it. Formalizing this process actively degrades the game, but it's too late because it's already a central conceit of playing RPGs in the current year. So what should you do? Don't use a Session 0, Anyone who insists on session 0 is the problem. They are anti-roleplay, anti-game, and they want to pre-plan everything for their stupid vision of imitating their holy idol, Critical Role. So keep yourself free of their insidious participation and avoid the pointless waste of time that session 0 is. Thanks for watching.